In the event that you are now watching this movie, it is really probable that you are going to commit a great deal of mistakes with your XRP. The probability that you will act in this manner is really high. I want to make it clear that I am not speaking to this in a broad or general perspective. In addition, I am not exaggerating the situation in any way. A large number of people are making the mistakes that will ensure they will not emerge from this bull run with more than they brought with them. This is a prediction that can be made with absolute certainty. Imagine how ridiculous that is. Take that into consideration. Even if we are currently living in a moment in which assets are exploding and money is streaming in at record levels, the ordinary retail trader will still end up losing money in the end. This is the case despite the fact that we are currently living in this period. There is no such thing as a theory that states that history repeats itself. And if I am being completely honest with you, if you do not take immediate action and start utilizing XRP in the suitable manner, you will most surely end up being one of those people. My goal is not to give you advice on how to spend your money. That is not my purpose. The vast majority of individuals throughout the world do not have a complete understanding of a big event that is currently taking place in the markets. Exactly where is it located? Exchange-traded funds, ETFs, that are based on Ethereum have at long last entered beast mode, which is a slang term that signifies they have started to perform exceptionally well. We were able to observe them receive a net influx of $1 billion in a single day just this week for the first time. This is a way that will help you learn more about that topic and comprehend it better. During the same time period, exchange-traded funds, ETFs that invest in Bitcoin, only brought in a total of $178 million. The level of activity generated by Ethereum was significantly higher than that of Bitcoin by a factor of more than 10. That is a point that is tough to believe. Is it essential to have this information? Mostly because we are already aware that XRP ETFs is the next one in line, which is the primary reason for this. September is without a doubt a possibility due to the fact that a substantial number of people are of the opinion that it ought to be finished before the month of October. Take into consideration the manner in which this follows the thing that came before it. Exchange-traded funds, ETFs, were initially available for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and now there is a possibility that XRP ETFs will become available in the near future. It goes without saying that this is the most important feature. Over the course of this period of time, there have been situations in which the volume of sales for XRP has been more than that of Ethereum. Are you truly under the impression that XRP is not capable of generating billions of dollars through exchange-traded funds, ETFs, if Ethereum is able to create billions of dollars through ETFs? During the month of May, these cryptocurrency funds have been the recipients of deposits that amount to more than $8 billion each. Not only did the Ethereum Trust ETF, which is listed under the ticker name ETHA, break prior records when it got new orders totaling $640 million in a single day, but it also broke new records when it received new orders after breaking previous milestones. The fact that we are currently in the high cap cycle during this bull run is precisely what I mean when I say that we are currently in this cycle. This design is really easy to understand. Ethereum will be the first cryptocurrency to rise when the next wave of money arrives, and Bitcoin will be the first cryptocurrency to climb that wave. Following this, the high-cap cryptocurrencies, including XRP, Solana, and most likely even Cardano, will experience an increase in value. This money was not acquired via a retail establishment. There is a link between this aspect and the establishment of institutions. The ones who offer advice are the companies themselves. The owners of it are people who are retired. The regulated ETF wrapper has made it possible for individuals who were previously unable to deal with Bitcoin to now be able to do so. As a result, millions upon millions of dollars are being exchanged by these individuals. Just try to picture the snowball effect that will take place once exchange-traded funds that are based on XRP are operating. A concentrated attempt will be made by wealth managers to persuade their clients to invest their money in XRP because of its potential returns. You will have access to major contributors who are willing to immediately contribute millions of dollars in your investment opportunities. Hedge funds will be able to purchase risk that they previously did not want to accept because custody was so tough. This potential opportunity will be available to them. Suddenly, the doors of each and every boat open and the boats all start to rise to their respective positions. The focus of people's attention is going to shift to XRP currency. At this point, however, I feel it is necessary for me to rouse you from your sleep. There's an overwhelming amount of upheaval that occurs during times like this. On a daily basis, you are presented with a substantial amount of news, the majority of which is manufactured stories. Be sure to take a peek at the most current news report that has been produced about the BlackRock ETF. Virtually every YouTuber admitted that it was accurate and repeated it on multiple occasions. Even some of the most renowned accounts on X, in addition to applications that use artificial intelligence, continued to disseminate the misinformation. The only thing that it accomplished was to frighten the holders, to produce confusion among the retail populace, and to force people out of their positions just before the key developments took place. You cannot afford to believe anything at this moment unless it comes directly from the source, and given the current circumstances, you cannot afford to do so. In that case, it is merely a distraction that is intended to deflect your attention from the main topic at hand. Permit me to also include this in my submission. There is a significant problem with the dissemination of false information. The utilization of it causes harm to individuals. It is being utilized in order to cause you to lose your job, to start having doubts about yourself, and to prevent you from keeping your money when the genuine change in wealth takes place. This is the situation with regard to this market. Individuals who make the conscious decision to reject anything that is not significant and instead focus their attention on the things that are definitely true will emerge successful. Exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are increasing the rate at which they are transferring funds as a result of the large demand from institutions. XRP is going to attract the same attention as Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is precisely where the implementation of blockchain technology proves to be of great assistance. It is absolutely necessary for us to have access to this technology because of the characteristics of the world in which we live. It is a world that is filled with information that has been created. Just for a moment, try to picture a future in which each and every news release, each and every comment that has an effect on the market, and each and every government filing is recorded on the blockchain with a cryptographic signature so that it can be verified. Never a spy, never a liar, and never a gossip in any form. A single piece of evidence that one cannot in any way put their faith in. In the end, everything is going to come to that conclusion. One further reason why projects that bring about this future will be incredibly successful is that XRP is one of the leading candidates in this regard. This is only one of the many reasons why. When it comes to bringing this concept back to you, now is the time. What exactly is the time at this very moment? There is a very important turning point in your life that you are currently experiencing. You have two choices. Either you can keep your concentration and get ready to take advantage of this opportunity, or you can get lost in the chaos and make the same mistakes as the ordinary retail investor who ends up losing all of their money when the market continues to rise. Both of these choices are available to you. The reason I made this video is because I want to be of aid to you. At this point in time, the Ethereum cycle has only started, and the moment when XRP will be available is coming far sooner than much of the population believes it will. A robust trend in exchange-traded funds, ETFs, is present, in addition to the fact that there are legitimate requirements and inflows. Following the legalization of XRP, there will be a significant influx of funds that will far exceed the amount that was predicted. Those of you who think that I am being unduly dramatic need only take a look at what is happening right now to fully understand my point of view. The cryptocurrency market as a whole is getting set for the largest inflow of money in the history of the planet, and Bitcoin is performing well despite the fact that the media is completely saturated with negative articles about it. In the meantime, the amount of money that came into Ethereum exchange-traded funds, ETFs, recently reached new heights. Wall Street and Main Street are both receiving these figures, which are strong numbers flowing into regulated things that are currently available on the market. Neither a theory nor a proposition can be applied to it. A further point to consider is that the history sheds light on what is going to take place in the future, which is the transition into the next high cap coin, which is XRP. Take note of this particular one. When the news of the Ethereum exchange-traded fund, ETF, was first reported, the vast majority of people did not have the appropriate reaction in any given moment. One of the reasons they did not take it seriously was because they believed it would be nothing more than another tale. On the other hand, Bitcoin had already made its main move by the time the money started pouring in. This was before the money started falling. There will be another round of waiting when it comes to XRP, and it will be the same story. Only those individuals who are well prepared prior to the dissemination of the information will be eligible to collect the maximum amount of money. If you want to make genuine money with exchange-traded funds, ETFs, you shouldn't wait till you hear about them on CNBC. Instead, you should start investing in them right away. Do you have any suggestion as to what could be causing this to take place? Believe in oneself and have faith. People who invest for enterprises do not simply spend hundreds of millions of dollars at random. They are making substantial moves because they understand that the rules are moving, they perceive an apparent use case, and they recognize the potential to get in before the broader public. Particularly at this present moment, XRP is in a position that is special. A utility-driven cryptocurrency that has the potential to transform the entire system of global payments. This cryptocurrency is not only a speculative asset, rather it is a cryptocurrency that is driven by utility. Not only will players be among those who rush in when exchange-traded funds, ETFs, become available, but organizations such as banks, funds, and businesses that are interested in receiving a peek of the future financial system will also be among those who do so. In this stage of the process, the vast majority of investors will almost certainly commit an error. They will either pay attention to stories about fake cases, or they will be diverted by popular content from influencers who do not inspect their facts. Either way, they will pay attention to some of the stories. There is a possibility of both of these outcomes. In the interim, individuals who are aware of the situation will discreetly purchase XRP through exchange-traded funds, ETFs. By the time regular consumers learn what has transpired, it will be too late to do anything about it. It has always been the case in cycles like this one, and it will continue to be the case. And this is something that I need to underline once more because it is the difference between making money that will alter your life and regretting it in the future for an investment that you made during this bull run. There is going to be a significant amount of falsified information. Are you familiar with the news regarding the fraudulent BlackRock exchange-traded fund? The whole community was shaken for several days as a result of the untruth that was told all about it. It is possible that you will be used if you allow tales such as that to influence the choices that you make. Having the capacity to tolerate just knowledge that can be validated is something that is required of you. It is not a good idea to wait until you are told that you are capable of doing something, even in that particular scenario. Before the event takes place, you will be able to position yourself appropriately if you are aware of what is going to take place and recognize the pattern that will occur. Let us take a step back in order to acquire a more comprehensive comprehension of the situation as a whole. There is likely to be a reduction in the rates in the not-too-distant future. Customers can now buy and sell things at stores that have reopened their doors to the public and are once again open for business. The prices of stocks are ascending to new all-time highs all over again. It is currently being made possible for the common population to have access to artificial intelligence, AI, in a manner that has never been seen before by extremely large technology companies. A greater number of occurrences are taking place that have an effect on this circumstance. This whole thing is intertwined. The locations that are the recipients of money are the ones that show the most level of regard for it. Additionally, at this present moment, crypto is on the approach of becoming the most significant component. Exchange-traded funds, ETFs, based on Bitcoin, were the first to be introduced as a result of this. For this reason, exchange-traded funds, ETFs, that invest in Ethereum are increasingly popular. The rationale for this is that exchange-traded funds, ETFs, that are based on XRP will be the next big thing in the financial industry. Bear in mind that this circumstance also involves your mental state. As of this moment, the general people is still falling further and further behind. The majority of people have a basic understanding of exchange-traded funds, ETFs, which are a type of investment vehicle that leverages Bitcoin. There are a limited few individuals who are beginning to acknowledge the reality that Ethereum exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are performing incredibly well financially. A further insult to injury is that nobody is actually talking about exchange-traded funds, ETFs, that are based on XRP just yet. You have an edge as a result of this. Before the news gets out and everyone starts talking about it, this is your chance to capture the opportunity before it starts spreading. In the event that something like that does place, the probability of favorable events taking place will be greatly diminished. The time has come for the asymmetric chance to take place. To add insult to injury, this is not just about making adjustments to the costs. Real-world applications of XRP are being implemented by an increasing number of individuals. A rising number of central banks are coming to the idea that we require settlement solutions that are comparable to the one that XRP offers, and more collaborations and pilots are being developed as a result of this realization. The day will come when there is a need for exchange-traded funds, ETFs, and the rocket fuel will be available. All of these aspects will come together at that time. I constantly reminding you that you are unable to make a mistake in this circumstance because of the rationale that I have discussed previously. It is as follows that the reality is. Exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are just the first step on the path to success. As soon as the initial influx of funding arrives, a snowball effect of stories starts to take shape. There will be an increase in the number of financial advisors from all over the United States who will be including exposure to XRP in the portfolios of their customers. Furthermore, there are going to be significant news headlines about money coming in by the billions of dollars as well. Instantaneously, you will come across research reports of a high grade that claim that XRP is an asset that you absolutely must have in your possession. At that point, the shop will finally be able to acquire it after some time has passed. On the other hand, those persons who had prepared themselves in advance will have already achieved their triumphs by the time that point in time arrives. Because of this, I feel it is imperative that you give this a great deal of consideration. There are going to be snares along the trail that you are currently on. There are several examples, including fear campaigns, distractions, and bad news events. There is a person on their way to you. In the case of Bitcoin and Ethereum, we have already seen how to accomplish this particular task. Exchange-traded funds, on the other hand, are going to really permit the money to flow in, and there is nothing that can be made against whether or not they do so. There is no amount of fake news that can stop the reality that a significant amount of money has already been set aside for them. This is something that cannot be prevented. The next cryptocurrency is XRP. What is the most ludicrous thing about this situation, if you could perhaps tell me? At this moment, we are only starting the cycle at the beginning. It is essential that you keep in mind the sequence that I suggested you adhere to, which is as follows. Bitcoin, Ethereum, then huge caps, then mid caps, and finally small caps. To express that is to indicate that the way things are going for us at the time is as follows. In addition to the fact that this demonstrates that the time has come for XRP, it also demonstrates that it is currently situated in the ideal position within the order. This is the finest that can be made available to you. It is for this reason that I continue to maintain that the vast majority of these retail purchasers will make mistakes. Before the high caps finish their run, they will sell too early, worry about fake news, or get diverted by exploring opportunities that are less lucrative. It is usual for all of these things to take place. On the condition that you stay on track and are aware of the order, you will be able to ride this XRP wave in the manner in which it was designed to be ridden. From this point forward, I will no longer be able to maintain a relationship with you. The impending wave of exchange-traded funds, ETFs, should be your primary focus. You should not let anything else divert your attention. On the basis of the inputs, the truth is disclosed. Something like this is obligatory to comply with. There is no way to deny the fact that the item is turning in a circular motion. What comes next is XRP. If you think that waiting for proof is a good idea, then you have already lagged behind other people with regard to this matter. When the evidence is finally delivered, it is usually too late to do anything about it. The people who are able to recognize a trend before it is confirmed by the media are the ones who are able to make money that can dramatically improve a person's life. It is appropriate for you to be thinking in that manner right at this particular moment. At this very moment, you have access to the materials that you need to change your perspective and get ready for whatever comes your way.